Hey, it's Claus, regular IT guy, coming to you from the Microsoft campus. And I read a blog post recently talking about some new performance increases that are happening with Windows Server. So I thought I would track down Yash to be able to talk a little bit about what this announcement was about. So what's up, man? Is this like massive performance increases for Windows Server 2025?
Absolutely. We're delivering tremendous innovation in the Windows storage stack, specifically for NVMe devices.
Those little drives.
Those little drives, they're everywhere in servers these days.
Right.
Enterprise storage is increasingly dependent on SSDs. And these NVMe drives keep getting better and better thanks to our wonderful partners and ecosystem.
Right.
Everywhere you look, feels like generation after generation, the IOPS numbers being printed on these SSDs just become more and more unbelievable.
Okay. Now, you mentioned, I believe, native performance.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like, I've got NVMe drives inside my box right now, but I think they actually are inside of a little, SATA enclosure, and they're going through like a SATA bus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about here?
So really what we're talking about is NVMe drives already work really well with Windows and Windows Server.
Yeah.
But the reality is, for maximum compatibility, historically Windows has treated all storage devices using the same protocol, iSCSI.
Yeah.
Right? Probably heard of that. And so that's worked well. We already have great performance on previous versions of Windows Server, but when we know enterprise storage is moving more and more towards using the NVMe protocol, it just makes sense to deliver a native NVMe connection and skip those translation layers and the overhead that comes with that.
So the overhead and the latency is because we're doing translation to a different protocol.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, for me to take advantage of this, what are some of the requirements that have to be in place for these Windows Server boxes?
So number one is you need to be using the inbox Windows NVMe driver.
Okay.
Number two, this is using an opt-in model today. So on your Windows Server 2025, you'll need to deploy a new registry key that enables native NVMe.
Yeah.
After a quick reboot, assuming that you're on sort of the regular update cadence for Windows Server 2025, using the October update or later, after you reboot, you'll see that tremendous performance increase that we're talking about.
Okay. Now, one of the questions I'm going to have is obviously, is this kind of stuff going to be backported to other versions of Windows Server, or is this simply Server 2025 and going forward?
So for right now, this is simply Windows Server 2025, and of course, Windows Server vNext, where this will be enabled by default.
Right.
And we're certainly evaluating, bringing this kind of technology to all the other SKUs of Windows when we can.
No problem. It wasn't mean to put you in the spot or anything that for making any kind of promises. So where can I go to find out more about this capability and maybe look at some more technical stuff?
Absolutely. Go to aka.ms/native NVMe blog, and you'll find all sorts of information about the types of performance increases you can see, how to opt in and how to get started and test out your performance.
Awesome stuff. Now, we're walking around one of the buildings on campus that have a whole bunch of Windows Server boxes inside these different labs and stuff like that. Can you share anything about what we're excited about without breaking privacy and without breaking too much secrets, or just simply a wait and see?
Absolutely. The storage team within CoreOS here at Microsoft is working hard on modernizing the storage stack even further. Native NVMe is just sort of that first step.
Yeah.
And we know customers are banging on our doors asking about NVMe over Fabrics for remote NVMe storage.
Yeah.
And so if you pay attention to our Windows Server Insider builds, pretty soon here you'll be able to get your hands on the Windows NVMe OF initiator. It'll be just a basic version, still under development, but that's sort of the next big thing that we're excited about here.
Right on. And obviously being able to provide feedback, because that's part of the Windows Insider program. It's awesome stuff. Hey man, Yash, I appreciate you taking time out of your day and being able to share a little bit of this NVMe love. Thank you so much, my friend.
Of course, thanks.
Have a great day.
You too.